Hello. I'd like to speak with you for a few minutes about enclosures that are optionally available for the SUPERtrol and the BATCHtrol series of products. There's quite an offering, so I appreciate your time. Let's look at the most basic indoor or outdoor wall mount enclosure with a NEMA 4X rating. Here we can see one of the SUPERtrol series mounted inside of an MS-811 NEMA-trol enclosure. You'll notice on this model that the hinge is on the bottom or top side. To gain access to the unit, you can open the lockable stainless steel hasps to gain access to the wiring compartment. It's not uncommon to have sub-panels, terminal blocks, and a variety of conduit entries on these models. The enclosure is easily cut with a drill and a circular hole saw. It's important to consider mounting the enclosure and the conduit runs to it prior to putting any holes in the enclosure, just to assure success. It's also important that you leave adequate space on either the top or the bottom for the cover to fully open. Common internal features include a sub-panel with a DIN rail to which you can mount terminal blocks to provide termination points for internal case wiring to your field connections. Alternately, you can wire directly to the back of the instrument. In addition to the hinge top or hinge bottom options, the same MS-811 enclosure can be purchased with a hinge left option. In this case, opening the lockable hasp, swinging the door, you have to leave room on the side for the door to fully open. This is important if you're planning several metering installations next to each other. On the rear, you'll notice that there's stainless steel feet for mounting purposes. These can be swung to make the mounting holes more accessible in one side or the other based on your preferences. The MS-811 enclosure is used with both the SUPERtrol and the earlier BATCHtrol family of products. As your enclosure needs change and the number of units increase, there are two other size enclosures that can be used. The MS-799 and the MS-816 are two such larger enclosures. In this installation, we're showing 4 cutouts for the SUPERtrol family. Often, there are economies to be realized by choosing a larger enclosure with more cutouts rather than several separate enclosures. In addition, the space below the instruments can be used for DIN rail mounting other devices that might be needed at the installation site. All of these fiberglass enclosures have similar features as far as mounting feet and ease of cutting conduit. Let's look now at hazardous areas. For the SUPERtrol family of products, there's a version of the XHVD enclosure designated XHVD, which can be used with the SUPERtrol family members where no access to the keys is required. This is often the case in gas metering applications or in petroleum applications where there's no batching involved or other need for access in the instrument. In the SUPERtrol family, you can set up in advance a scrolling display list so you can view through the windows all the individual process parameters and totalizers of interest. This provides for an easy means for the operator without having to remove the cover. With all explosion-proof enclosures, it is necessary to de-energize the power before opening up the enclosure to the area. Explosion-proof principles operate that a flame within the enclosure will not propagate outside to ignite a combustible mixture. And the design is intended to be used with the covers closed and suitable ceiling fixtures within a certain distance of the enclosure. These instructions are provided with the user manual that accompanies the enclosure. You will notice on this model there's a rating plate listing the areas that it's suitable for, as well as some standard factory conduit entries. Once again, the XHVD can be used with the SUPERtrol family of products. It's slightly larger than this model, but has correct sub-panel and entries for that SUPERtrol family. Now, what is required in some applications is for button access for the operator. For this, KP offers a different solution. Thank you very much and for your attention during this brief presentation.